Welcome to Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV. I am Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the bet review show for UFC 227, Dillashaw versus Garbrandt. We're going to get into our best bet play that we had, as well as our overall feeling on the card. I am back from Atlantic City, had 2 fantastic days out there, comped on Ocean Resort and Casino. Really a great time. After the fights, we hit the craps table for quite some time, and my wife was the big winner, so that actually kind of helped a little bit what happened at the main event. And then on Sunday, we were by the pool all day, sipping on drinks and pondering what the hell happened at the main event for UFC 227. So we will get into that right away. Our best bet play was on Cody Garbrandt to defeat TJ Dillashaw. Now, oh wow, I have a lot to say here. And it's not because Cody got his butt kicked. It's more on what happened and the strategy and the overall situation that happened at UFC 227 and really leading up to UFC 227. Now, you saw all week Cody very relaxed. I mean, he was just very relaxed, seemed focused. Nothing was really, even when there was questions or comments about the first fight, he was very, cordial about it. Just, hey, I'm going to knock him out. And, I was hurt and, did have some, there was definitely slight excuses, but apparently that was very true about his back, the injuries, all these other things that were going on. And again, even the day before, even in the weigh-in, there wasn't much from Cody. And I thought that was a good sign, a little bit more of a good sign that he's focused. That he's got his strategy, that he knows he needs to keep his emotions in check. He's got to keep his emotions in check. That is going to be the biggest part of this fight. And I thought that TJ was pushing his buttons, trying to get under his skin, like I said, chewing gum obnoxiously, always kind of, saying certain things to him. But they were both somewhat on the more chiller side, definitely than the first time. But Cody seemed more on the effect of not going to let my emotions hit me. Walking in the cage on Saturday night, same thing, seemed focused. And when you go in there, and as soon as Cody lands one big shot, again, everything goes out the window. Everything that he was training for, focusing on, was thrown directly out the window. And it really was a situation where once he had landed it, he was going for the kill. He went right for the kill again. And all he did, and it was something really, and definitely credit to TJ as well, but Cody was just really loading up on that right hand, overly loading up on the right hand. And for a guy that really likes to be in the pocket, lives and dies by his boxing, and his speed and his quickness, and he does have power, but it's starting to be more and more apparent that it's not just, Cody, no love, Garbrandt. It's really Cody, no chin, Garbrandt. Because if you're going to play that game, and even TJ Dillashaw talks about it, he says Cody loves to play a dangerous game. He likes to stand in the middle, and he just likes to fire. And to the coaching staff of TJ, even though they won the first one, you could tell they actually really had a fantastic game plan. And Cody comes in with the exact same game plan, which is stand in front of you and fire bombs. That it just does not work against a guy to the caliber of TJ Dillashaw. And I really thought going into this fight that, he knew he had made mistakes in that first one. That he knew that, go back to, the way that he won his title, when he won his title, Cody, was against Cruz. He was very relaxed. He flowed well. He moved around the cage. He kept focused. He didn't let the moment be too big for him. He really just focused in and was landing big shots consistently. And even when he had him hurt, he did not get over-aggressive. He did not overexpose himself. And going into that first round of the first time Cody and TJ fought, he was relaxed. But again, he lets his emotions get the best of him. And in this fight on Saturday night, he did the exact same thing. He got close. He used a little bit more kicks, and you saw that. There was, I was talking to a couple people in the Fight Club about that. He's, worked on his Thai boxing, kickboxing, and and really just trying to put together a little bit more of a different plan. But again, I'm not sure who's to blame if you go more Cody, and Cody not really, focusing and just looking to throw the big bombs, or is it go to his coaching staff? Not really putting Cody in check, not really, having the game plan, letting Cody dictate what's going to happen, and just say, I'm going to throw bombs, and that's the end of it. And even on the Joe Rogan show, Joe Rogan even, was having conversations yesterday with some of the guys that trained with Cody, and they're saying, what was the game plan? That's what Joe Rogan's asking. What is the game plan? What was your game plan coming in? And they were like, well, try to piece him up and and it just didn't seem like it was much. They said they wanted to get a little bit more the takedowns. They wanted to use a little bit of Cody's wrestling, but none of that was apparent into the fight. And I think that's what bothers me the most. A loss is a loss. Everybody loses here. We have had a fantastic run on our best bets. It's just when a guy is such at the top level of mixed martial arts and goes in with the same exact game plan that the guy beat him, just had recently beat him with, and he goes in, and TJ, again, credit to his team, they knew exactly the holes that Cody had. And you go into the fact that, TJ had said that, he drops, when he's throwing that right, he leaves his left down. And that was all that TJ was trying to bait him into. He knew that Cody was going to get emotional, and you saw Cody right away biting down on his mouthpiece and trying to throw those big shots. It was just overall, right away when we're watching, we're in Atlantic City, we're watching with everybody, and early on there was a little bit of, they didn't obviously go right in and just, bombard each other. It was pretty quick, but in that first minute I said, okay, this is where you want Cody. This is where you want him. You want him moving around, and TJ was, now he's embracing the snake nickname, but he was like a snake out there. He was coiled up and ready and just waiting he knew Cody would get a little bit over emotional, and he would wait for it. And it was just a great strategy and a great game plan overall for TJ, a guy that beat and knocked out Cody Garbrandt, and then was able to still come out with a game plan, and it was the same holes. And he kept saying that even leading up to the fight. TJ said, he's got the same holes. He's got the same holes. Hasn't changed anything. And, you're thinking, hey, maybe he's going to do something different. TJ said he wanted to maybe take him to the ground. But once it started being bombs being thrown in the middle, and you see how Cody was loading up with those right hands, and TJ just stayed in tight and threw quicker shots, but he was more precise and more on target. So he ends up finishing Cody Garbrandt, and you know what? Cody No Chin Garbrandt is, I don't know where he's going to go at this point. You got a guy that is, very, he's great. He's definitely one of the elite, but if he's going to be a very one-dimensional fighter, he's not going to go far into this. And the things that helped him win a title, he did not use them at all. Cruz is arguably one of the best bantamweights ever. Now Dillashaw is approaching that, definitely, without a doubt. But the things that made him a champion, he completely got away from. And that's, again, I don't know who to blame on that. I don't know if it's Cody and his emotions, or his team not really coming up with a great game plan, or is it more just TJ being a phenomenal athlete and having a great team around him that really strategized a plan. So let me know what you guys think, who to blame. But, again, you got to give credit to TJ. He looked phenomenal. I hope Marlon Moraes, I think that is the next fight. I would love to see that fight. They're going to be both very quick guys, a lot of power. It's just going to be a great fight to see. I hope that happens. And before I even, get into it, I know they were talking a lot at the end of this TJ versus Cody fight about Henry Cejudo, and now is he going to now fight TJ? And they're talking about that super fight. To be completely honest with you, no thanks. I don't want that fight. I don't think it's really something that I think people want to see. I know that, obviously the whole talk was, if Demetrius wins and TJ wins, it was setting up perfectly. And I think the UFC was a little bit pissed off. I think that Henry Cejudo ended up getting that victory because it kind of takes away, it does take away a lot from any kind of super fight with those guys trying to make something happen. Now it gives a lot of shine to Cejudo, and now Cejudo gets an opportunity to fight DJ again. So we will now get into that. So co-main event of the evening, did not have a bet on that fight. Crazy fight. Obviously it was a split decision victory for Cejudo. It was 48-47, 47-48, 48-47, and the big talk is the strikes that were landed, for DJ. for DJ compared to Cejudo, and and the takedowns obviously were there, but did Cejudo really do a lot of damage when he was on the ground? That was a big argument that a lot of people were having after the fight. But again, you got a guy, takedowns are extremely important, and what you do with it is obviously even more important. But he was able to do certain things to Demetrius that Demetrius isn't used to. Anyone is used to seeing. So I think that is where a lot of where the judges were looking at and saying, we've never seen. So it probably added more to each takedown, seeing him get taken down. I know he had 10 attempts, and he landed a bunch. He landed a good amount, but he was not able to do too much, and that's the big argument when people are saying, did he have enough action on the ground, and was that enough to defeat a guy that has the longest reigning championship winning streak ever? Was that the performance that everyone was saying, oh, this is what ends it? So I get the argument, but at the end of the day, it was a very, very tight fight, and Cejudo gets that victory. Again, I just don't think, and going back to the super fight possibly between Cejudo and Dillashaw, I don't want to see it. I just think that at this point, Demetrius deserves a rematch, and now I know that's, again, the sexy thing to say after a fight, or the big thing to say is, hey, I want a super fight, and, you've got Stipe, who is arguably the best heavyweight ever, loses, and now, Cormier is now going to go fight Lesnar. So, that's just the environment that we're in, where if the money's there, they're going to do it. So, and if the interest is there, they're going to do it. I mean, of course, there is, the ranking system, but a lot of things change. All of a sudden, Conor McGregor has been out for, however long now he's been out for, and he moved up in the pound for pound ranking. So, a lot of this stuff is, obviously now because he's active and he signed a fight, but he hasn't fought. So, it's interesting to see how that all pans out, but I hope, again, that it's, Demetrius fights Cejudo again. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that fight now, to see Mighty Mouse finally take a loss, and to see that there's actually other talent in that division. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but there you have it, guys. Overall, our best bet play now for the year is 21 wins, 10 losses, plus 16.98 units for the year. So just under that 70%. Hopefully we can come back and get another victory in our best bet play. And I think UFC is off for about 2 weeks. So the next one is going to be Gaethje versus Vic, which we'll have a best bet play on that card. So we got 2 weeks off. Definitely going to be doing an early betting strategy. Want to have maybe 1 or 2 of those videos out over the next 2 weeks. Just get more information out to you guys, more content out to you guys, more conversations. Definitely want to break down the upcoming McGregor versus Khabib fight. I think that's going to be one of my early betting strategies that I just want to talk about. See if the line is where we want it to be, if we want to be betting now or later, or where we think the line will move towards fight night. So there you have it, guys. If you have not yet done so, do not forget to subscribe, like, head kick the bell icon, get involved with Fight Club TV. And this is Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV.